G'day, ladies and gentlemen. Today, what a day. We have a very special guest. We have Alladan from Bitcoin Trading Cards. It's going to be one of the most interesting conversations to start your day. Alladan, before we dive into these incredible little orange pills that you've designed, how are you?
I'm doing good. A little bit of a cold, so my voice is a little bit out, but I'll work with it best I can with you guys and try not to go through a coughing fit.
I feel you. I've still got a little bit of a hangover cough from being sick. It was what it was. It wasn't very pleasant, to say the least, but it did pass as well. So I feel you there, Alladan.
Lots of water and tea.
100%, and heaps of sun if you can get it. That vitamin D and a whole lot of sleep was one of the biggest cure-alls for me. Alladan, before we went live, I was looking for a thumbnail a picture for the thumbnail, and I came across the Max Kaiser card and clicked in there, copied the photo. It's on the thumbnail. Fantastic. But I saw it went for 20 million Satoshis. Now, 20 million Satoshis now is like $13,000. That's pretty insane to see. I don't really know anything about these Bitcoin trading cards. Obviously, somebody in the community's really jumped in after and really engaged. But what are Bitcoin trading cards, and sort of what's given them the value? What's the point of these things? Are they like a new school Pokemon card, or what's happening here?
Yeah, I mean, I created these because I was trying to orange pill everybody that I knew, and so having a really hard time doing it, because normally when you're trying to talk to someone about Bitcoin and get them into or interested in Bitcoin, you've got to go down some rabbit holes. You've got to open up some conversations that are not fun topics. So with these cards, it was really a way for me to open up these conversations without having to actually open a conversation. The cards speak for themselves. You never know what you're going to get. You get 10 cards in a pack, and when you rip one open, you're going to learn about tyranny. You're going to learn about freedom, economics, financial freedom, monetary history, which was one of my favorites. And then we throw in people like Max Kaiser, Michael Saylor, different people that are Bitcoin only, that don't go and try to shill you a bunch of their programs or maybe trading programs and different things that where they're trying to make money off you. We're really trying to put in there people that I've been in Bitcoin since 2016, people that I felt were really good educators for people that are going to get into Bitcoin for the first time. So it's really a all-in-one spot for you to start learning about Bitcoin for the first time and really do it in as fun a way as possible.
Yep. I'm incredible. You said, like Max Kaiser, but then Michael Saylor as well. Can you share that Michael Saylor story that we're talking about behind the scenes, or is that not for the general public?
No, I mean, so anybody that we put in the pack, we have to have a total blessing from them. A lot of people, if not the majority of people that get these cards, if you pull a Max Kaiser or any of the people in the pack, you go to the conferences and you want to be able to meet these people in person, and a lot of people want to get their cards signed. So the last thing I want to do is have someone rip one of these cards and then approach a Max Kaiser or really anybody and say, hey, I've got your trading card, will you sign it? And they go, well, what the hell is that? I didn't know I was on a trading card. So we definitely reach out and ask permission from each individual before we put them in there. And when we reached out to Michael Saylor, he was a little hesitant. I don't think there's anyone that hasn't been hesitant the first time they hear about these cards and us asking to put them in the cards. But Michael was really amazing about it. He said, as long as my scarcity is the same as the majority of all the other people in the pack. So just a really humble, amazing person. And I got to meet him real quick in person and give him a pack. But really fun to be able to meet these people in person and get them to sign your cards. I think that's one of the coolest parts about these cards, at least for Bitcoiners.
Yeah, 100%. I definitely want to get a whole lot of cards, and definitely some of the people that I really respect. my guess is you've probably got a Natalie Brunel card. And what are some of the other, I guess, influencers or talking heads that have complete integrity that have their own card at the minute?
So Ben Sessions, Tone Vase, Samson Mao. We got Adam Back, which was really cool. We just did another Cypher series, so called Spirit of Satoshi, where we collaborated with the Spirit of Satoshi team. So Alex Fetsky, quite a few amazing Bitcoiners in there, and then a lot of Bitcoin artists. World of Rusty, he's a fellow Australian of yours, and one of the nicest, greatest artists I've met. And he was one of the first, he was the first artist to give me a chance and jump in the pack. And he's been incredibly helpful, God, since day one. Really, really proud to be working with him. So yeah, it's across the board. And then we've got a resource category. So when you're learning about Bitcoin, where do you go to buy your first Bitcoin? We've got some amazing companies in there that are Bitcoin only that really allow you to get started on your Bitcoin journey and not send you down potentially some shitcoin rabbit holes or exchanges that could potentially detour you into a direction that you probably don't need to go before you know anything about Bitcoin cryptocurrencies. And we're trying to stop that as much as possible and give you as much of a green light towards the right direction as anybody can.
Man, truly appreciate that. I believe it's pretty important that if we can distinguish the difference between Bitcoin and crypto, it can save a lot of pain, mental turmoil, also financial loss as well. But I've brought up your resource section here. I haven't had a look at it before, full disclosure, but sort of what's here in that and where should people go? I guess that are new into Bitcoin, maybe a Bitcoiner's given them a pack of Bitcoin trading cards. They've gone on there. They're like, okay, it's not just magic internet money. It looks like a little bit of fun. I'm interested. They jump onto your website, and then how are they navigating and I guess ultimately getting into Bitcoin? Like, I think that's the point of your mission, everybody's mission, is just get people to understand Bitcoin and then ultimately buy it and change their own lives.
Yeah, absolutely. So, I mean, the website, we have a long way to go. We are a very small startup. You could definitely call us a mom and pop. This has been me and my business partner. We didn't imagine it would take off quite the way it did. And we're not even 2 years old yet. So we've got just the basic resources on the website right now. But the ultimate goal is, let's say you pull, I'm just going to grab a random card from here. Let's say you pull the white paper card. And on that white paper card, you get the artwork to kind of hopefully entice you into wondering what the white paper is. And on the back, it gives you a brief little description. And then you have the QR code. And what we're working on now is being able to have resources on the site to where any one of these cards you could pull, you can further your education beyond the card. And then the same with having these different educators that we have on the cards to be able to go to the next level, and we'll have them listed on there. So if you find a BTC Sessions card, scan the QR code and it'll bring you to the website, and then you'll have links to be able to go and learn from Ben Sessions, and he's absolutely amazing person to be able to start out with when you're first getting into Bitcoin. So these are all a lot of work in progress on the website to get there. The card so far has done a really good job of at least just getting that ball to bouncing on asking the questions, and that's the first step right there, is just being curious enough to ask the questions.
100%. And definitely want to back you up on that. If anyone isn't following BTC Sessions on YouTube, actually follow him. Absolutely incredible, high signal, and can help you on the self-custody side of things and the self-sovereignty side of things. Very, very easy. It's really amazing. I've got a couple of people having a little bit of fun in the chat. Queen of Diamonds, Lizzie Warren, and this was the best. He should add in a random card like Klaus Schwab, and it says, give someone 1 million sats, like you got to pay it forward because you got a bad actor. I thought that was a little bit of fun. Do you were saying that you've got like a tyranny line. What type of things are contained in that, and what type of information, I guess, what signal is being sent there, Alladan?
So I feel like in order to really appreciate everything Bitcoin has to offer, you've got to understand why we are so pumped about Bitcoin. And tyranny is one of the biggest reasons for me. I was hardcore red pilled at a very young age. So when I found out about Bitcoin, I was immediately, I couldn't think of anything else. So the tyranny category, for me, I mean, here in America, especially, and I live in California, which is, yeah. So a lot of people think that dictatorships, communism, socialism is a good thing. And I know a lot of this comes from the social media push and the mainstream media pushing this on people. But it's absolutely the worst thing that could ever happen to humanity, period, is to have overlords think they can control and actually take control of us. So again, these conversations are really hard to open up to people that are not already down those rabbit holes. And the tyranny category, in a really gentle way as you possibly can, starts opening up those questions in people's minds. And we don't put any opinions in these cards. These are just straight facts. And you don't have to look that far to find some really clear facts on communism, dictatorships, anything like that, to very clearly get the point across that this is not a good thing unless you are the actual dictator yourself, I guess. So, yeah, we go down many red pill roads with this, and there's a balance to it, to not go too far. The series that is coming out at the end of this year is called, we do a theme series each year, and this one is Warriors versus Villains. So talking about
Oh, cool.
Lucy Warren and Klaus Schwab and things like that. This was a lot of back and forth between me and my partner trying to figure out how can we open up these conversations without possibly getting banned, possibly putting too big of a target on our backs. And it's a difficult one to figure out. So Warriors versus Villains is going to maybe push the line a little bit harder than we have with some of these other cards, but it's just, again, starting to get people interested in asking these questions. The information's out there. If you have any common sense or your critical thinking skills work at all, then you should be able to figure it out within a couple minutes that we're going down a bad direction, and giving these people any powers at all is just absolute lunacy.
Yeah, 100% agree. And I think obviously BlackRock coming in has made Bitcoin safe in certain people's eyes, through the ETF and stuff. And I don't know if that's designed to stop people holding Bitcoin in self-custody. Yes, they get exposure to number go up, and it's just another form of control. But how are you finding people receptive to either the really positive messaging or the really negative, like the FUD and the tyranny type cards? Not that it's a bad thing, you're just sticking to the facts, but if you bring up something that maybe is a little bit heavier or takes a little bit longer to think, what are you seeing light people up that aren't already in Bitcoin that'll be like, oh, maybe it's not good that BlackRock's coming into the space, or the wherefore they're trying to ban self-custody, or hey, this is just number go up technology. We've got amazing people like Safedine or Michael Saylor, Max Kaiser, etc. What cards are resonating and I guess getting the most amount of people in, or is it different strokes for different folks?
Yeah, I think it's definitely different strokes for different folks. I spent about 2 years teaching basic Bitcoin to as many people that would attend one of my classes, or just get together at the coffee shop, whatever it took. And a lot of that was to try and put together my notes before I created this project. I spent 4 years on it before I actually launched, because I needed to pick up this feedback as much as possible. Because I mean, the price of the Max Kaiser card, I mean, that's Bitcoiners specifically getting into these cards, the education, the purpose, supporting other Bitcoiners. But we're time stamping the biggest moment in human history right now. If we're successful on this mission with Bitcoin, then there'll never be anything bigger that hits pop culture, that changes humanity, than Bitcoin. So these trading cards are exactly that. Trading cards have been around 150 years. It's just a beautiful timestamp on the moments we're making right now. Each one of these people that are contributing, these brands, businesses, Pizza Day, all these different moments, this is history in the making right now. So I think Bitcoiners are getting into these cards specifically because they love the fact that like this is celebrating something we're so passionate about, and it doesn't take up a lot of room. You can only have so many posters on your wall before your walls are full. And if you have a wife like mine, she's going to give you your own office, and beyond that, stay away from the rest of the house. So these cards are cool because you can put them away in your safe and have these collectibles of, again, these moments. And then when it comes to the general public, I think the majority of people, honestly, they are looking for something better than we have right now. We're advertised. If you're watching TV, you've got to battle back against not just the television shows, but I don't have a television in my house. We'll watch movies together here and there, but the only time I'll see a commercial is when we're maybe on vacation and it gets turned on in the hotel room. And commercials are propaganda on crack. Like, it's insane. I'm blown away because I'll go like a year or so without seeing one, and I'll see another one, and I'm like, what is going on? Like, it is propaganda more than I've ever could imagine they could ever get away with. And so the television shows this. People are hypnotized, but I do think the majority of people are really wanting a positive change. Taxes are a great way to ask someone how much they know about freedom. Majority of people don't believe in it. If they're telling you, which I have had a lot of people right off the bat, they're like, well, it's for the schools and the roads, and what would we do with it? And I said, well, yeah, but the people you're paying these taxes to literally print unlimited amounts of money. And if we all paid 100% of our taxes and then some, they're still printing like 5x everything we're paying. So if we need the roads fixed or schools need to be better, these guys literally can push a button and print all of that. And are you enjoying your roads right now? And how much do you like your kids in? So it can open up really quick and just kind of put people in that moment of having to use that critical thinking skill, and usually they do. I like to use this one for anybody that don't waste your time, and I know it's a hard thing to say. I mean, my business, my life is built around orange pilling people, so hopefully people don't take this the wrong way, but there are many people out there that are going to be very receptive to Bitcoin. And when I say don't waste your time, it's because I would like people to spend their time talking to people that you're going to have the best chance of actually getting them to maybe take the time to get into Bitcoin. So I like to ask two questions. The first one is, do you trust the government? And after 2020, if they still trust the government, holy crap, you might want to just end the conversation right now, right there, and say, okay, have a wonderful day. If they say no, then the next one to kind of filter it a little bit is, do you trust the banking system? And if they answer no to both of those, then they're primed and ready to learn about Bitcoin. If they answer yes to both of those, again, I probably would just wish them the best day possible and go on to the next person. Because if someone hasn't woken up at this point enough to, and I know it's a very open-ended question, but they can come back in many different ways. It doesn't have to be yes or no. But if they come back like, well, yes, of course, I trust the government, yeah, you're probably not going to get it. And most people, and I ask a lot, most people, they answer no, or they have a pretty good comeback to that. So I think that the world is primed to start to embrace something better than what we've been handed for many, many years. It's only getting worse. And just creating things like the trading cards, number go up is a great reason for someone that's maybe not into Bitcoin whatsoever to maybe take a look at these trading cards. And we Trojan horse them. Like, they bought it because they thought it was going to be worth something, and they stayed because they learned a whole hell of a lot that changed their life forever. So I think there's some similarities to Bitcoin in this, and I tried to do that as much as possible when I created these cards.
Yeah. No, man, that's so awesome. I was listening to a podcast yesterday. I don't know if it was with Daniel Baden. I can't remember. It's a brilliant podcast. If I can retrace my history, I'll share it with everyone. But they're talking about like the statistics out there. 80% of people now in the US do not trust the government. And they're like, all right, like where are these other 20%? 20% of people that do trust the government, well, they're the government workers, they're the government employees, the people that are incentivized to trust the government because their livelihoods depend on it. So I think, just backing up what you're saying, like, I'm getting to a point now where if somebody, even going back, say 6-12 months, if somebody didn't get Bitcoin, like, I just keep try and I'd come back and I'd revisit and I'd give them a book or give them the white paper or give them a link. And now I'm getting to a point, if somebody's not interested, like, unfortunately I don't have the time, and they, having that touch point may be good. They may come back, but I feel like it's critically important for those people, like Svetsky says, that the warrior class that go out there, the remnant, if we can find those people that are awake and they're looking for the answer, then they can run with it, and then there's more people doing it. But if we just get stuck on that one person, like, I feel like this is the most serious thing in the world. Like, I also got to hear if the number go up at the start, and it doesn't take long from reading a couple of books. Shout out to Brian D. Mint. What an incredible book, and I believe you're good friends. But like, I feel like we're on this precipice of, I believe it's a fight of good versus evil, or right versus wrong, or lies versus truth, whatever esoteric way you want to spin it. Like, the fiat system's crumbling and it's enslaving people and it's making people's lives harder. And anyone on a Bitcoin standard, over time, their lives get better. But if you can align somebody that has a bit of energy, time, they're free thinking with Bitcoin, I think that's how we can propagate and spread this message. One question, a little bit of a pivot, but on that topic, I believe buying, stacking, and chilling Bitcoin is the most important thing. Whatever way leads people to buy Bitcoin, put it in cold storage, and then just relax. Don't try to trade it, whatever. Just continue to get the most amount of Bitcoin possible. So anytime anyone buys anything, whether it's a shirt from the Bitcoin Lab, or they buy a Bitcoin book, or they buy Bitcoin trading cards, that is money that's currency usually that isn't going into Bitcoin at that stage. The price points of these packs of cards, sort of, where do they lay, and how do you sort of think about that? If people are going down there buying boxes and boxes of cards, they're not stacking Satoshis, but is it a negative or net positive?
So with these cards in particular, I mean, when I first came out, I didn't imagine that there would be a secondary value to them beyond maybe $50 for the rarest card. So the way these took off was a major surprise to me, honestly. We have cards, our packs of cards. There's one right here, Genesis pack, and these are $5 a pack retail. And then we do different incentives to get them out for cheaper. And then we also give away, we've given away tens of thousands of these packs to different programs, different communities, meetups, you name it. And these are, we got Nunya. Yeah, he's one of the big pushers of them as well. They're educational cards, and there's really not a whole lot of collectability to them, other than a couple error cards that we screwed up on that have become the collectible part of these. Of course, the screw up is the most collectible part, but those packs in particular are meant to be almost free. And in the end, they're meant to be free to the plebs or to the people that they're handing these packs out to. You can give someone a $10 tip after dinner and see where that goes, which with the price of things nowadays, probably not anywhere. You can give them one pack of Genesis cards, and the potential that they actually read the cards and learn about Bitcoin. I mean, if they do, then that's worth that $10 tip times God knows what. So original purpose for these cards were specifically to be a really fun and simple way to orange pill your friends and family. And for me, I think one of the biggest parts is I'm not a big fan of social media. I've said it, I'm not a big fan of television. As much as you can get outside and touch grass and just out of the matrix is the most important thing that we can do. I've got 3 kids, 2 of them teenagers. It's a battle to get them off of the screen. and we do whatever we can to do that. So these cards being physical, being something that when you're at a meetup, it's been a lot of fun. Like people gathering around with these cards and passing them around, trading them back and forth. We've created one of the most amazing communities ever, in my opinion. The Bitcoin trading card community is incredible, and we meet up at the different conferences. A lot of people have stayed at the Airbnb that I rent, and we all do our little parties together, and incredible people. And we're all meeting each other because of these trading cards. Don't trust the verify. It takes a lot of trust to send someone one of your trading cards for them to send you back one of their trading cards. It's created amazing friendships throughout the Bitcoin space. And I think a lot of it honestly has to do with, it's not us sitting around talking about how doom and gloom and horrible the world is. We're Bitcoiners. We all understand that, but we have something that is fun, something we can laugh about, something we can kind of throw back and forth with these cards, and talk shit inside the community about Lizzie Warren and all the different things we do in there. And it's a lighthearted way to enjoy Bitcoin, the Bitcoin space, and the history we're making right now. So I think that, there's something to the fact that number go up in these and not hodling your Bitcoin. It's a scary thing, but at the same time, the only way we're going to get the majority of the general public to get into Bitcoin, there has to be some big incentive for them. And Michael Saylor, he was on a podcast with What Bitcoin Did the other day. It was amazing. And he made the point a few times. He goes, man, we have to start really pushing Bitcoin. Originally, the first touch points need to be on some of the amazing fundamental things that Bitcoin has, without going deep into the red pill that usually pushes a lot of people away, because we come off as evangelists. We come off as a cult. And once you really learn why, then obviously we're not. But at first, the majority of people, we don't come off the way we think we're coming off. So giving them something a bit of more of a Trojan horse, I think, is really important, just to get the ball to bouncing, and then everything else will come. First touch point, we've got to get a little more creative, and I think that's what a lot of these cards do. Is just, it's a really fun and simple way to get people started.
I can totally relate to that. I know, like, if someone's a little bit receptive to Bitcoin, I'll start talking, and then I slowly go into Bitcoin mode. I guess I'm like, they probably have no idea what I'm saying, or they think I'm totally crazy. You said you had a community. Is there like a group where people get together, or it's just people interacting on X, or is there a private Bitcoin trading group?
Yeah, so it's on Telegram. So if you go to any one of our social medias, we'll have it there on our homepage, whatever you call it. And then on the website, there's many different places you can go, and it'll talk about the Telegram community, and join right in. It's anything you want to learn about the cards. The discussions in there are amazing. We talk about all kinds of things Bitcoin, and it's Bitcoin only. And I know Telegram, for me, when I first got started, was scary. Scammers left and right. Our trading card group is off the hook. Like, if you're a scammer, I mean, I think there's been quite a few people lately too that join in, and our community might just jump immediately calling it a scammer if the name isn't necessarily, because we've had so many scammers jump in, but they're gone within seconds. So if you do jump in and you're booted because the community thinks you're a scammer, just reach out again to one of us, and we'll get you back. As much as that, in a way, it's also really good, because we treat each other like family in there, and we won't let anyone get hurt. We have a trusted traders list, where if you're like, oh, this is cool, I'd like to trade a pack of my trading cards or one of my cards to somebody else. Well, we have a list of people that have been trading from the beginning, and we make sure you're using the exact tag to the exact person, so that you don't get scammed, you don't get taken for your cards. And everyone is really helpful. We do giveaways all the time. It's just a really fun place to be, surrounded by pure signal.
Man, that sounds so awesome. So a couple of rapid fire questions. How many cards per pack?
So we've done different collections of packs. We have one called Orange Pill in a Pack. That is our main flagship series. There is 21,000 packs, and that's done only once a year. So the scarcest flagship series you will find in any trading cards ever. And then when we do little conferences, we'll do a conference pack. So there's BitBlock Boom, and there was 2,121 of these packs. So again, everything we do is incredibly rare. They do sell out extremely quick because they are so rare. But I think that's probably where a lot of the collectibility comes in. I was telling you off stage, Pokemon prints on average 1 billion packs a year. With everything combined that we do, so far, a year and a half in, I think we've printed 140,000 packs, 150,000 packs in a year and a half.
Wow.
So we are definitely the scarcest trading card project out there, and we will remain that way. And it's going to keep the cards really special and highly collectible compared to anything else out there because of that.
Mate, it's so interesting. Like, Bitcoin's only 15 years old. It's got trading cards, you said, 2 years, a year and a half that they've been here. You're already printing limited edition cards. We can already see things like Max Kaiser doing it. It's pretty insane. Like, Bitcoin's the best money that's ever been here, like ever, that's ever been designed. It's the greatest hope for humanity to be able to be self-sovereign, to just have spiritual freedom, really. Like, I think that's where it all comes down to. They just want to take your thought process away, or your life force away, to have that, and then to have these things there. One more question is, in each pack, how many cards do people get per like little sleeve?
So 10 cards in a pack, and in everything except for the Genesis packs, which are the strictly educational packs. All the other packs we do, you're guaranteed 1 foil card in that pack.
Awesome. And how many packs in a box?
So it depends. The orange pill in a pack, we did 24 packs in a box. The commemorative packs were 12. Whale packs are 12. So each one of our collections, we do something very specific to make that collection really unique. Like the whale packs are really cool because those are specifically artists in the Bitcoin space that we feature. I'll show one right here, World of Rusty. So
I'll bring you up full screen, 2 secs.
I'll pull it out of here so it doesn't have quite the glare too. Yeah, our wonderful World of Rusty. And then on the back, it just gives you a quick little quote on Rusty where you can find him. So yeah, each one of these collections are really special in its own way. And something just really unique for the community to be able to just, again, enjoy some of the timestamp moments we're at right now in Bitcoin history. There's nothing like this that's ever happened. So we've got to timestamp it. And whether you're collecting, going for a full set, or you just want one pack, one card, I think it's really just special to have something to remember these moments. And we got all the memes of the kids looking up at Grandpa, and they were like, "Grandpa, you were in Bitcoin when Bitcoin was $5,000." I mean, those memes are some of my favorites, and that's really what these cards are. It's just the way to be able to say, yeah, back in the day when Bitcoin was only 15 years old, I was there when Bitcoin trading cards came out, and these are some of the cards that I had from back then. It's the same thing as being able to collect Topps cards from the 60s and anything else. It's nostalgia, and trading cards are probably some of the best nostalgia that has ever been created, and it's worldwide. And Bitcoin is the biggest pop culture, money changing, world changing, humanity changing, and it's worldwide. So it just goes hand in hand.
And do you ship worldwide with these cards off the website?
Do we what?
Ship worldwide. Like, yes. Do you post?
Yeah, 35% of our sales since the first month in have been worldwide. So we've got a lot of amazing Australian, we call them pack stackers. Instead of sat stackers in our community, it's pack stackers. Some incredible Australians that have been with us literally since day one. One of our most popular countries, our continents, all over the world. It's been really amazing to see. There hasn't been a continent other than Antarctica, I think, is the only continent that we haven't touched yet. So it's been really cool to see these go worldwide and make it all.
I like that. We haven't touched Antarctica yet, but you will. It's good, and that's pretty much a fact because Bitcoiners will be everywhere at some stage. That's pretty cool. I guess one of the last questions that I have as well, when you go to buy it, full disclosure, this video is not sponsored or anything. I reached out to Alladan through Brian to get him on. Super interested, wanted to learn more about it. I don't own any, but I'm going to go and buy some. Do you accept Bitcoin on Lightning?
Yes, we do. So we've been using IBEX on the website since the beginning. And now with IBEX having to close down in the States, it's a major bummer. So we work directly with Geyser. We have from day one. So what we've been trying to do already, but we're going to push more into that because we only have until the end of this month. Any of our Bitcoin sales is going to go directly through Geyser at this point, and we'll be moving people over there to do that. Mainly for me, the big reason behind that is like I absolutely love Geyser, and it's supporting them at the same time. And we've been again with them since their early stages and our early stages. So if you want to make a Bitcoin payment, I highly recommend going through Geyser, especially if you're overseas. There's many reasons for that that people I'm sure are aware of. And then you're supporting both two, I think, good companies at the same time by doing that. So a website, unfortunately, we will not have payments on there through Lightning or Bitcoin after the end of this month, and Geyser will be the place to go.
Cool. That's good. Yeah, I've had a bit of trouble integrating Lightning into a store as well. We're getting there, but it's just not like any other plugin. It's yeah. I don't know. Bitcoin will get there. It's only 15 years old. Just to be able to integrate into existing Shopify store or whatever it is has been a huge headache. And then the couple of companies that do allow it and that work fairly seamlessly, they're like, yeah, we're all full because there's such a demand. Please join our wait list. I'm like, oh, come on, like just make this happen, but truly appreciate it. Alladan, do you have like a final message? What gives you hope within Bitcoin? You know, the price today is 68,250. Block height is most important. That's in USD. One Bitcoin's one Bitcoin, but block height 845,560. What are your thoughts going forward, and what are you looking forward to?
So I use this one quite a bit, and if we don't have freedom, Bitcoin to me personally is not going to get my family anywhere. We really need freedom before anything else, and people need to understand the importance of freedom. Take your time and try to spread the word and just get out there as much as you can, and talk to friends and family and whoever you can about the importance of freedom. We need the people to stand up and push for what is right for all of humanity. And if we're able to do that, then Bitcoin is going to do everything that we dreamed of it doing. Keep the hope in that, and just make sure you don't stay idle. We all have to get up and play our part. We are the marketing team for Bitcoin, every single one of us. And that's the beauty of Bitcoin. It's the beauty of what Satoshi Nakamoto created. And just get up and make some moves, because the world is waiting for you. And I guess my last thoughts on the cards for anybody out there, I highly recommend you jump into the Telegram group, ask questions, stack stats before packs. That's another really important one that we put out there. Just collect that Bitcoin. It's the most important thing. And if you want to have fun, or you want to try to use the cards to get some friends and family into Bitcoin, then that's the greatest thing that these cards are for. Stack sats before packs, and it'll all work out.
100% agree. Definitely stack sats before packs, but it looks like a good orange pill. So I'm going to get a couple of packs once we hop off, and I get a couple of moments today and see how I can use them as orange pills. But mate, it's been a lot of fun, and sorry that the volume maybe for people out there wasn't quite right. We had a couple of issues before we went live, but if you haven't already, hit subscribe. If we vibe, do something nice for yourself, number one, but then for somebody else out there. Have a very beautiful day. Be kind, be a good person. Peace. Thanks heaps, Alladan.